What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. This right here is the 2025 Mazda MX-5 Miata Club, and this is a two-seater sports car that's been around for over 30 years. Now, this one, our tester specifically, is around $39,500. And is it worth it? I think for the right person with the right lifestyle, yes. Let me show you why. The MX-5 first came about in 1976. A Motor Trend magazine journalist by the name of Bob Hall met with research and development team at Mazda. Hall, who was known as an expert in Japanese cars, was asked what kind of car Mazda should make in the future. He replied, a classic sports car that doesn't exist anymore, and someone should build it and make it inexpensive. 13 years later, in February of 1989, the Mazda MX-5 was debuted at the Chicago Auto Show. Upon its release, the MX-5 received accolades like Automobile Magazine's 1990 Automobile of the Year and one of Car and Driver's 10 best vehicles from 1990 to 1992. The MX-5 featured things like pop-up headlights and small chrome door handles, which paid homage to the British roadster. To keep MSRP low, the base model had no power steering, no air conditioning, no sound system, and had steel wheels. In addition, a 5-speed manual was standard with an available 4-speed automatic. It was powered by a 1.6-liter straight 4-cylinder engine producing 116 horsepower, and in 1993, a larger 1.8 was standard in most markets. The second generation of the MX-5 was unveiled in 1997 and began production a year later for the 1999 model year. The main differences were the removal of the pop-up headlights for pedestrian safety standards, an optional 6-speed manual transmission, and a horsepower increase to 142. The most notable thing about the second generation was the Mazda Speed MX-5. It's the only factory turbocharged variant of the second gen built in 2004 and 2005 with a horsepower increase of 178. The third generation was introduced in 2005 as a more modernized MX-5. It introduced the power retractable hardtop and received accolades like Car and Driver 10 Best List 2006 to 2013 and Japan Car of the Year Award for 2005 to 2006. And now here we are with the fourth generation, which was introduced in 2014, meaning this one right here has been made for around 10 years now. Not to mention the Miata MX-5 is over 30 years old. But right here in the front, the first thing you notice is the color. This is an aero gray metallic, and simplicity is one thing that Mazda focused on with this vehicle. Once again, to keep costs low, to keep aerodynamics great, to keep it well balanced. This is a 50-50 balance vehicle, which is sought after by amateur drivers because of its balance. When I say it's a little challenging to get this thing to drift, but once you do, it is completely controllable. One of the most balanced cars I've ever driven. But dropping down here, you can see it does have this updated styling with the LED daytime running lights in the headlamps with the huge Mazda logo front and center. So when you guys look in the mirror, you know which car this is. You think it's a supercar, but it is a Mazda. Now, contrast with that is the gloss black in this grille. And down here at the bottom is part of a package with this gloss black diffuser. Makes this front end look very great. And you do have the decals right there, which is a non-functioning ventilation. But guys, this thing is beautiful. Let's move along to the side. Coming alongside, you can see how compact this vehicle is by me standing here. But look at the size of this door. That is well needed because when you get in this vehicle, it is like you're sitting on the ground. And if I keep making these terrible faces, once again, that's because I broke my glasses. So somebody send me some new glasses. But starting in the front, the one thing that caught me off guard when this vehicle was delivered that I didn't know was the 17-inch BBS rims, guys. Yes, this is pretty much the aftermarket rims that started it all. And yes, this came from the factory, and they have a nice metallic black coating to them. But these are 17-inch rims riding on 205/45 high-performance tires with Brembo brakes on the inside. You're talking about a Mazda MX-5. In the States, we like to say Miata, with BBS rims Brembo brakes and Bilstein shock absorbers. I mean, how much performance can you get in this vehicle? And that's not all of it. But let's keep going. You do have that turn signal on this fender, which I love because this is a large fender and that is a nice blank canvas. It wasn't boring. Nice touch. You do have the gloss mirror and the gloss lower skirts on this, which is part of an appearance package that I'll tell you guys about later. But what complemented that so good, you guys really don't notice until I point to it, is the gloss black that's running around the windshield. I mean, that was a great touch of design. They didn't have to do that, but they did. Nice touch, Mazda. Coming back here, of course, you can see those red painted brakes right there. Same thing for the rear tires as the front. I did think the rear tires were gonna be a little fatter, but no, they are the same rims. And for some odd reason, you do have this antenna and the shark fin on the trunk. But that is the side, guys. Let's move around back. Coming around back, simplicity is key when it comes to design on the Mazda MX-5. But the first thing you notice when you really look is this contrasting black lip right there. That is a nice addition. It is an option. But you do have your shark fin right here, your MX-5 logo, your Mazda logo, and your Sky Active G logo. But look at those taillights, guys. I mean, isn't that a great design? Look how it is carved into that rear bumper. I love when companies don't cheap out on design, and Mazda did not have to cut it like that, but they did. Good job, guys. Dropping down here, you see front and center is that rear view camera, which is needed, or should I say reverse camera, because it is not seen on your rear view mirror. But that was well needed. You see, this is a roadster. Dropping down here, of course, you have your license plate bracket with your LED lights, but the number one thing that makes it complete, makes it looks like a canvas with a border, is the gloss black down here. And of course you have your dual exhaust tips right there, guys. But while we're back here, let me show you how nice this trunk is. It would be nice if there was a trunk button on the outside, but as I open this up, you guys can come in and you can see just how deep that trunk is. But stay right there, stay right there. I will put my bag inside just so you can see how deep this trunk is. Under the hood is Mazda's Sky Active G 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine, pushing out about 181 horsepower, 151 pound-feet of torque. And this engine is nice, it's great, it's powerful. You can get the tires spinning. But the one notable thing is with my lead foot, I've been achieving around 40 miles per gallon on this vehicle. Now, for reference, my day-to-day driver gets about 14 miles per gallon. But you can see as it has the stabilized bars, this is a well-planted vehicle. Now, there are a few things going on in the inside. The one notable thing is that nice size 8.8-inch screen. The one thing I don't like about Mazda is that it's only a touchscreen when using Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. If you are on Mazda software, you have to use the toggle switches, which is weird to me. But the one thing you see over there is that nice aluminum contrast on that fully leather wrapped steering wheel, which I think was a great touch. On the door, you can see that the color from the outside continues on the inside. I love that. That was a nice blend working your way on the inside. It does have MX-5 branded floor mats. And the one thing that I told you guys was gonna top off the list when it comes to the BBS rims, the Brembo brakes, the Bilstein shocks, is that it has Recaro seats, guys. I know you usually only see that in muscle cars or Mustangs and all that stuff, but yes, this MX-5 has Recaro seats. And the one thing about the Recaro seats I must note is that they do have suede inserts with the leather on the outside with the gray trimming, or gray piping is what I usually call it. But in the headrest, the leather is perforated because you do have Bose speakers in the headrest. Yes, this has a 9-speaker Bose system inside. And even going to that center, you do have that same aluminum finish that's on the steering wheel going around the fully leather-wrapped gear shifter, which is next to that fully leather-wrapped handbrake. Interestingly, it comes with removable cup holders, and these cup holders have 3 different slots in this car from what I found, where you can put them to hold cups, and they're actually quite useful. But in that center section, when you drop from that touchscreen. It is very simple. You do have gloss going around the vents. You have that emergency light button with that one vent right there. That's a very clean area. Dropping down next to your push start button, you do have your climate knobs, which are large, and I think that was nice. It definitely filled in that space, because that would have been a boring space had those knobs been any smaller. But dropping below that, you do have two buttons for your heated seats. Yes, these Recaro seats that have gray pipe and perforated leather suede insert with Bose speakers inside of the headrest does have heating mechanisms inside. Yes, I mean, guys, I honestly didn't know the MX-5 had this many features before receiving this vehicle. But right up under those heated seat buttons, you do have two USB-C ports and a SD slot for those tunes that you like to listen to in your convertible. Next to that, it is a padded cubby that's pretty much surrounding that, which would have been nice had they added the wireless charge pad. And going behind that gear shifter, you do have those same controllable knobs from pretty much every other Mazda that's just made a little different. To control the infotainment screen, you do not need to lean up to touch that screen at all. Once again, it's not a touch screen unless you're using Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. And behind that, you do have a small but useful center console. It's small enough to put a wallet in, or I'll put the garage clicker in. That's pretty much all you can get in there. But being that there is no glove box in this vehicle, coming to the back, you do have a lockable cubby between the seats that you can slide a few things in. I mean, phones, the book for the car. It's pretty deep. But guys, this is pretty much it. The last thing I want to mention, the very last thing I want to mention, is how easy it is to put this convertible top up. All right, guys, my son is going to show you how to close the top. It's so easy, a teenager can do it. First, you get in, you grab that clamp right there, bow, it pops it up. You pull that thing all the way forward. You make sure that clamp clears it. Bow. Okay, and open it. You just pull that lever right there and open it. And look at this. He can even lock it from the driver's seat. It is that simple. Who needs a power retractable roof? I mean, obviously it's nice, but look how easy and convenient that was. The 2025 Mazda MX-5. I thank you guys for watching the video. Please go to my channel, like and subscribe before you leave. And if you're interested in people who design some of the cars we drive every day, I have another channel where I interview them called Becoming You. On my YouTube page, you can go down to the bottom where you see other pages. But until next time, guys.